Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Wheeling Island and the West Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship games, brought to you by Rays and Suddenlink Communications. I'm Ron Cook, along with Natalie Tennant. We are at Wheeling Island Stadium, Wheeling, West Virginia, for tonight's AA Championship matchup between the Bluefield Beavers and the James Monroe Mavericks. We'll be right back with the Bluefield Regional Center Medical Center pregame show. Natalie Tennant along with Ron Cook. And Natalie, it's finally here. We've waited a long season. It's a little bit cold. At least it's not windy like it was last year. We got a good game to start off the Super 6 tonight between James Monroe and Bluefield.
Oh, I think this is going to be a great game for the AA Championship up here at Wheeling Island Stadium. You have two teams that are very familiar with each other and went toe-to-toe just a couple weeks ago in the regular season, and here they are when the stakes are even higher.
Yeah, and now, you know, as you mentioned, both teams are familiar with each other, only 40 minutes apart. And earlier in the season, Bluefield came out on top with a 14-7 win over James Monroe, and really two different offensive styles we're going to see from each team tonight.
Yeah, certainly are. They obviously know each other very well, but when you take a look at them, for folks who may not be familiar with these two teams from the southern part of the state, you know, it's always funny when you have a state championship and many of the teams are close to each other, just like in Wayne County last year. But certainly for folks who don't know these two teams, Bluefield comes out really a balanced attack because they've got some nice running, but they also have some nice passing. And then you go to James Monroe, well, it's pretty much all running.
Yeah, and they rely on their quarterback, Taylor Robertson, to do most of that running. Right. He's only passed the ball 46 times this year, which is not very much, 14 completions, but he's rushed for over 1,700 yards. So, you know, we're going to see a lot of running out of them. Will Cole, the quarterback for Bluefield, they rely a lot on him for passing the ball. He has passed for over 1,300 yards this year and 18 touchdowns. So we know Bluefield they've got a balanced attack, as you said. A little bit of run, a little bit of pass. We'll have to wait and see what they do tonight because as we talked to the coaches earlier, they mentioned maybe not a whole lot of changes. We'll get a few interviews from the coaches when we come back from the break. You're watching the Bluefield Regional Medical Center pregame show. We'll be right back. We had a chance to talk with the coaches earlier this week. Well, I say earlier this week, we got to talk with Fred Simon before the game. I had a few questions to ask him. Here's what he had to say. Coach Fred Simon of Bluefield and Coach James Monroe, you played them earlier in the season. You guys are familiar with each other. Do you think that on offense and defense both that your team's going to need to make adjustments tonight to beat James Monroe?
Well, we hope not. It'd be great to just go out there and just everything we had planned works perfectly, but it doesn't happen a lot of times. We'll make adjustments if need be, and hopefully they'll work.
Okay. Now, you talk about making adjustments, so you come out with a game plan and in-game adjustments, halftime adjustments, you go from there?
Yes, we do. And you know, if we have to, we do the best we can. Sometimes adjustments work very well, sometimes they don't, but we'll give it a try if we need to.
Okay, well, now with James Monroe, you know they're basically a passing team. Do you expect to see basically a running team, do you expect to see any passing out of them tonight?
I think if they need to, they will. If we do a pretty good job of stopping the run, I think they'll mix it up some because they'll have to, and we'll be looking forward to both.
Okay, now, James Monroe, this is your first year being here, first time ever being in the championship game. You've been here before, but your kids, the kids that you have now, are sort of new to this experience. A lot of kids new. They haven't been to this game before. Do you think that'll play a lot of effect tonight?
Well, we had in our 04 team, a lot of these guys were freshmen that are seniors now, so we think that'll help us some. And once the ball's kicked off, it's basically even up. So we'll see. I feel that our players have worked very hard, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, Natalie, as we heard from Coach Simon, they never want to give us anything good, do
Was
they?
that Coach speak or what?
I wish they were just tell me. One trick play, something they were going to do. You know, I had that chance to talk with David Witt earlier, too.
Yeah, and he's a fun guy, too. He'll give you a lot of information. You know, the school's only been in existence for 14 years. They've been in the playoff 11 years. This is the first time they've been in the championship. So a lot of excitement for James Monroe. And then you find out that you're playing somebody not very far from you and somebody you've played before. And sometimes that's good or bad because they do know each other pretty well. And here's what he had to say about that.
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with each other. We're about probably 40 minutes apart. We're kind of kind of have developed into a rivalry over the past 5 or 6 years, and so we're really familiar with each other. You know, they've got a lot of skilled people. They run the ball really well. They're good up front offensively. They throw the ball on top of that really well. So you know, the big thing with them is you have to be fundamental. You have to have good fundamentals. You have to be sound against their scheme. Your kids can't get out of position. You know, you have to be really disciplined against them. We've been in existence 14 years. We're a consolidated school, and I think we've been in the state playoffs 11 times out of 14 years, and I think we've advanced to the semifinals 4 times, and now the finals once, and have had 4 or 5 undefeated regular seasons. And so we've over the years, it started with Coach Donnie Jackson when the school opened, and you know, we've established a pretty good tradition of football. We probably run the ball 95% of the time, and you know, we're going to line up and run it, and they're going to line up and try to stop it, and we're going to see who the best man is, basically.
The fundamentals and the basics. That's what Coach Witt likes to talk about. And actually, that's what James Monroe did. You know, last time when they played him just a couple of weeks ago, 14-7, you know, they were able to really possess the ball a lot. And that's what they need to do. They need to have ball control to make sure that this fast Bluefield offense doesn't have it. And that's what James Monroe is going to have to do tonight.
Well, both coaches, they want to run their offense as they did do in the regular season. Right. We know they both want to do that. Adjustments will be made by one team. That one team will make adjustments is the team behind in the fourth quarter. So we'll have to wait till then. We should have a great game tonight. You've been watching the Bluefield Regional Medical Center pregame show. We'll be back with the opening kickoff, the AA West Virginia High School Super 6 Championship game on We are back at Wheeling, West Virginia with the AA West Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship game. And let's take a look at the Harem Salon starting lineup. Tonight for Bluefield, Will Cole will be the quarterback. In the backfield, Brooks, Patterson, and Bowes will be the fullback. Wide receiver, Anson Ponder. Cody Wassam, the tight end, across the front line. Justin Schrader in the middle. Chris Harris and Brandon Harris are the guards. Tackles, Mike Miller and Joe Stone. On defense for the Beavers, across the front, Bowes, Harris, Miller, McClanahan, and Kersey. Lilly, Brooks, and Wassam are the linebackers. Defensive backfield, Patterson and Joyner corners. Ansel Ponder will be the safety. And for the James Monroe Mavericks tonight, the Harem Salon starting lineup for the Mavericks. Taylor Robertson, the quarterback. Frazier, Tincher, and Kiesel in the backfield. Ray will be the tight end. Pritt, Gum, Connie, Parker, and Pritt across the front line, and Zach Mann rounds out the offense for James Monroe. On defense, Parker, Connie, Romanello, Triplett, and Kiesel across the front line. Tincher, Mann, and Pritt are the linebackers. Frazier and White, the cornerbacks, and Robertson will be the free safety tonight.
You notice something about both those teams?
Tell me.
A lot of seniors on that
yes.
on both of those teams. You can see why they're here at the state championship, at the big game, because they're a senior late, a lot of veterans on both of these teams.
And you can see the captains for Bluefield and James Monroe right there are at midfield getting instructions, awaiting the coin toss.
And as they introduce the teams, the coach gets to decide who they want to introduce, either your offense or your defense. Bluefield chose the offense, and they just kept naming him. More than 11 players. It's because he wanted to make sure all the seniors on that team were recognized.
One of the captains for Bluefield who will not play is Devin Myers, number 33. He's got his jersey on in the street clothes. And we are just about ready to get underway the AA championship game to kick things off here at the Super 6 on a very cold Friday evening.
It's good football weather. It really is. It's not the blistering cold raw wind that you might have like last year. It's just a cool game, and you see a lot of the fans, and those are James Monroe fans. They've been here early.
Yes, they have.
They didn't just stroll in. They've been here a couple hours, and the thing is, they've been yelling and screaming since the moment they got the seats in the stands.
Well, the thing about being a West Virginian is you know how to stay warm. Plenty of camouflage.
That's right.
And clothing will keep you warm. Bluefield will be the team wearing the home uniforms tonight.
Right.
They come in ranked number 1 in the state, undefeated. They have the blue jerseys on. James Monroe ranked number 3. They had to beat the number 2 team, Wayne, who
defending state champs, who were undefeated too. Yeah.
Beat them by a touchdown at Wayne to make their first appearance here at the Super 6 in Wheeling.
Well, that says a lot about this James Monroe team when they were able to do that. They've been wanting to get to this place for a long time. They've come so close and never had a chance to be at the championship, and here they are now.
Sexton will do the kicking for Bluefield. It is high into the right side, taken in by Frazier. Right up the middle of the field, and he is stacked up at the 26, falls forward to the 27, and that's where James Monroe will begin their first offensive series tonight.
And James Monroe wanting to do with it, get right at it, get right on the ball and get control of the ball and possession of that time. That's part of some of their defensive strategy is to have an offense that can keep hold of that ball.
Really a defensive struggle between these two teams the first time they played. And really the only time these defenses pretty much struggled through the years when they played offenses struggled when they played each other through the year. Robertson will take the ball over the right side, still on his feet. Breaks through a couple arm tackles and moves out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 8.
That's part of that offense for James Monroe. He's the quarterback, but he's a key to it, leading rusher for James Monroe.
Second and a long 2. As mentioned, leading rusher for the Mavericks this year. Robertson gets the ball, follows his Kiesel, is blocking back. He gets into the secondary and takes it across midfield, down inside the 40-yard line. Mark it at the 37. And Taylor Robinson with 2 big carries and a big first down for the Mavericks.
So much for grinding it out, huh?
Yeah.
You see, just a nice little pitch. I mean, that's exactly the way they do it. He got a good block too from Nick Kiesel.
And Nick Kiesel, a lot of offenses will call him a fullback. In James Monroe offense, they call him a blocking back.
Well,
and
he did his job.
You saw right there on that play why he is a blocking back. See the stack formation to the right for the Mavericks. And they're going to come around. Direct snap to Kiesel, brings it over the left side, and he will have another nice gain for the Mavericks, and they are slowly marching the ball down the field.
You certainly are, and you talked about it in the pregame show, making adjustments, and Coach Simon for Bluefield kind of coy about all that. Well,
they all are.
They'll make the adjustments if they need to. You see the J.W. Potts instant replay, and Robertson. Yeah, well, no, that was Kiesel that time. It looks like James Monroe had made some of the adjustments from that first game.
Kiesel direct snap up the middle, and he gets to the 30-yard line. Will be a couple yards short of a first down. Yeah, that's one thing that Coach Pritt talked about was the execution of the plays, the blocking and everything. He doesn't feel that they played up to their potential first time when they played Bluefield.
Well, and also he knows when he's playing this Bluefield team, they're not 13-0 for nothing.
Yeah.
James Monroe is going to almost have to have a perfect game here.
Third down, Robertson over the right side, follows his blockers, and he will pick up a first down to the 25-yard line for the junior quarterback.
Well, that takes a lot of patience, too. He's staying right behind those blockers. If you take a look at the J.W. Potts instant replay, he comes around behind him. Look at that, and it looks like he could go to the outside, but he's just sticking with the blockers in front of him.
Follow the white shirts.
Yep.
First down, they mark the ball down just past the 26-yard line. Kiesel, it's a double reverse back to the inside. And Tincher with the ball. Tincher gets the carry eventually after it went through.
Yeah, did you see
few
that?
hands.
A little bit of misdirection, but it looked like Bluefield may have been familiar with that play before. But that's the threat that you have when you have these 4 guys back there. That's the threat. Each of them almost 1,000-yard rusher. Ernie Tincher, 920 yards rushing.
Robertson over the right side, and he is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage and hit hard there. Chris Harris on the tackle.
That's 2 plays in a row. You see the Bluefield defense getting into the game now, doing some executing on themselves.
Eric McClanahan with the tackle. Third and long for the Mavericks. Robertson back to pass. He has Tincher deep, wide open, in the end zone. Touchdown, James Monroe, and Tincher was wide open.
We're laughing because that's his 15th pass of the season. And there's the replay with Taylor Robertson. And it's because, and how many of them? 6. This is his 17th, his 15th pass completed that is.
And his 7th touchdown.
And his 7th touchdown. And we said, and I think you said it, because they're not used to him throwing, that the guy's wide open. And he was. He just got in there behind the coverage, didn't he?
Logan Ray will do the kicking, getting his shoe on. Still has 10 seconds left on the play clock. Plenty of time. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick goes off the upright and is no good. That could be costly later on down the line. We'll be back with more of the AA West Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship right after this. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium, Wheeling, West Virginia. James Monroe, first drive looked pretty impressive.
Did they do an onside kick?
I
don't know. I just got the feeling. I just have the feeling.
All right.
But maybe not. I don't know. Just because it seemed like they surprised him coming in there. Nope.
Kick goes deep. Taken in by Sexton. He's still on his feet. That's Patterson still on his feet and takes it out to the 31-yard line. That last drive for James Monroe, 9 plays, 72 yards, took up 3 minutes and 50 seconds total time, result in a 25-yard touchdown pass from Robertson to Tincher.
They certainly marched down the field. They didn't grind out the time. Yeah, 3 minutes, 50 seconds, almost 4 minutes off the clock in getting the end result.
So we'll get our first look at the Bluefield offense tonight. Will Cole, junior quarterback. So that's one thing, talk about a lot of seniors on the team. Both teams will have their quarterback back for next year. Handoff goes to Brooks. And James Monroe defense strings him out. And he still stays on his feet, breaks away from Kiesel, and Tincher finally runs him down. And he's only going to get about 2 yards, 3 yards on the carry. But what a great second, third effort by Sean Brooks.
Yeah, especially when they had him behind the line of scrimmage. You see here, Kiesel has the shirt, but that doesn't do much. See, he tried to wrap him up. He let go of the shirt and tried to wrap him up, and help couldn't come quick enough.
Will Cole out of the shotgun. Maybe putting an audible in. Looks like he's getting word out to his receivers what they're going to run. He looks right and then comes back, and the ball is going to be picked off, and down the sideline goes Josh White, and Will Cole comes over and makes the tackle. We've got a penalty flag down on the field. Couldn't tell what happened, but Josh White read him the whole way on that one.
Chase Joyner pushed him in the back after he got up. That was just a frustration penalty that he had right there. And you saw it developing. And either it was going to be a pick or a Bluefield receiver was going to get it. Because you see him just Will Cole rolling out. He just steps in front of Chase Joyner right there. And you see the flag at the end. Joyner tackles him, gives him a little shove. Not there, right there. That shove.
Good call.
Thank you.
So that'll be half the distance to the goal line. Call from the official. So the ball will be spotted nosing the 10-yard line, and James Monroe couldn't ask for a better field position on their second drive of the evening. So 2 offensive plays for Bluefield and a turnover. Tincher in motion. Ball comes to Robertson. He follows, or Kiesel. He follows Tincher down to the 8-yard line, gain of 2.
You know that yellow line? It almost messed me up.
You think it was the goal line?
No. When they show the yellow line sometimes on other broadcasts.
Oh.
First line mark.
We don't.
I shouldn't have said that because that's on the field, folks. It's not the first line marker.
Kiesel direct snap again, goes up over behind his right tackle and down to the 3-yard line. Now James Monroe can pick up a first down inside the 1-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
That's what makes it so difficult. You know, a lot of folks had said, well, even you said, you know, this single wing offense that James Monroe runs. Old time offense, is that?
Yes.
I think that's what you called it.
I believe I said yes, from 1920. It's working right now.
It sure is. I mean, who's it going to go to?
Kiesel is stacked up, still on his feet, but he will no gain, maybe lose a foot or two.
The only thing, you know, they follow their blockers in, but because Bluefield is so quick and they're so strong, when you have big number 78, Mike Miller, they call him Moose in there. You know, I just like to see him pop out to the outside.
Looks like Logan Ray is going to get the shoe on to attempt a field goal. He's going to have to hurry.
Yeah, he's
the
got to
clock is
hustle on
down to 5 seconds.
They may have to call a timeout.
That's what they did. Coach David Witt not very happy to call that timeout, and that's what he has to do. Timeout. So even though they got to burn a timeout there, I don't think you're going to mind because
no. I mean, you have a
want to get things right
here. You know, Bluefield, they know they made a mistake with that interception. They could certainly redeem themselves if they could hold James Monroe right now, and James Monroe could certainly use this boost too.
So you want to make sure you get everything right. You don't want a 5-yard penalty because we've seen 5 yards make a difference.
Oh, yeah. Especially when kicking for high school football, yeah.
Right.
I mean, he missed the extra point.
So this is 6 points. They missed the extra point after their first touchdown, so they really do need these 3 points here. 5:11 to go in the first quarter.
I don't know if we'll see a fake field goal here or not. I mean, Logan Ray is still free. You see him right there bent over fixing his toe. See, back in the old days when they used to have that string that just tied up around a little spike and just tied back there. Now they've got a nice little wrap for you.
It looks more like a club than
yeah.
They are back on now. Logan Ray is lining up. They are on the far hash mark, so he's going to have a tight angle.
Look at his foot. Great camera work.
Kick is up, plenty of distance, and good. Our score is 9-0. James Monroe with the lead over the #1 team in the state, Bluefield Beavers. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium, and James Monroe coming in as the underdog, but right now has owned the game so far, Bluefield's only run 2 offensive plays, and they're in the hole by 9 points.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Bluefield. They're the ones coming in with the all-around, the balanced attack on offense, and then just a fast defense. And when you talk to some of the people from Bluefield, you say, you know, what makes them defense so good? There's not one person they could name, but, you know, it's right now the balanced attack of James Monroe.
Ray's kick deep in the corners, and corner Patterson will take it at the 14-yard line, brings it up the middle of the field, and the hole closed just as quick as it opened, and he gets just shy of the 30-yard line. That last drive for James Monroe, 4 plays, covered 16 yards, took 1 minute and 55 seconds off the clock, and resulted in a 21-yard field goal by Logan Ray. First and 10 for Bluefield. Handoff goes up the middle to Patterson. And not much there. Maybe a yard pickup on the play.
Well, Bluefield just has to stay in its own frame of mind and not really think about what's happened to them in the last 2 series. For James Monroe. Talk about all those seniors. Let's see what these seniors do now.
See how much, senior leadership they do have on this team. Cole under center. Patterson in motion. He will get the ball again. Follows his blocking to the outside, and he will be wrapped up by White. Or that was Sean Brooks with the carry. Sean Brooks, their leading ball carrier on the season.
Yeah, he's got 1,200 yards coming into this game. And a 1,300-yard passer, as you said in the opening of the show, of the game, with Will Cole. I mean, that's a very good balanced attack.
Bluefield in the more traditional wing tee, 3rd down and 4. Handoff is going to go to Bose over the left tackle, and he will pick up a first down. Aaron Bose, 5'7", 165-pound senior, running hard behind the left side of that line for a first down.
Yeah, you take a look at J.W. Potts instant replay, just right over that left-hand side, and he certainly knows how to go through a line. You know, he's 5'7", 165 pounds, but he's also the nose tackle for the Beavers. So he doesn't mind getting down there nitty-gritty in the lines, no matter which one it is.
And James Monroe jumps offside. And just add insult to injury, as he was jumping back in to get back on side, Mike Miller just plowed him.
The moose mushed him. But you know what? The offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach for Bluefield said that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's right. Offensive players are always, it seems like they're the one getting hit, so anytime they've got a chance to deliver a blow, they'll do it.
He did it.
So we've seen Bluefield, now they're changing, going to the tight formation out of the wing tee. Ansel Ponder is the only wide out. See him, number 8 at the top of your screen. Patterson in motion. It's going to be a double reverse to Brooks, and he has some open room, breaks the outside, and up the sideline he goes. They won't get him. Touchdown, Bluefield. Aaron Brooks following his blocking and breaking out and showing his speed.
Yes, he did. Nice little reverse there, and he showed a little stutter step that he had here. You see the reverse through it, then he's coming here right on the left-hand side. We're going to see him come back around. See if he can catch the stutter step. Nope, I don't. He had it before that.
Bluefield on the board now, down 9-6. Big extra point attempt coming up here. Sexton on the kick. It's up and good. 9-7 is our score. We'll be right back. You're watching the West Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship game. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium. AA championship game. Bluefield finally getting on the board. That last drive, 4 plays, 70 yards, 2 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock. 51-yard touchdown run by Sean Brooks. Kick goes down to the 13-yard line, taken in by Frazier. And there's a fumble on the play. It looks like James Monroe covered it back up.
I saw the ball in there. I didn't see it pop out.
Or that was Ballingy on the return. Number 9, not number 8.
Well, Bluefield just showing how much of a
Yes.
potent offense that they have. Yeah, they can show their own little trick plays and their reverses too. And
So we've
when
seen
you have
just
speed like
just
that,
the
it
opposite.
can make up. Yep.
We saw James Monroe score on a pass, and then Bluefield went to that tight wing T formation, broke up a long run. Robertson to the right side, following his blocking through there, and the open spaces he had on the first drive are not quite as open.
Yeah, it seems
Last
like they're
few times he's
ready
carried.
for him this time.
Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 for the Beavers. Or for the Mavericks, James Monroe Mavericks. In the shotgun, Tincher in motion. Fakes the ball to him, right up the middle to Kiesel, and a gain of 2.
It looked like he had a bigger hole in that, but by the time he hit the hole, Bluefield was there to fill it.
And you can see, much like the wing T, single wing uses a lot of deception too. And it takes a lot of coaching on defense in order to have your boys in the right position to see who's got the ball. 3rd down and 5 for James Monroe. Kiesel right up the middle, breaks 2 tackles. He'll pick up the 1st down. Patterson finally brings him down with a little bit of help from Ponder.
You see Kiesel, he found a nice hole. And this is just like Coach Witt was talking about. Now we're just going to run it. They're going to have to stop us.
Yes. He was not kidding around.
No.
I thought, well, maybe he's just giving me the right down the line answer, but we've seen one pass, and he's pretty much been running from there. Robertson over the right side, and he does have some room this time, staying on his feet and down out to midfield, and a 1st down carry for Taylor Robertson.
Well, that's where that little, that pack of blockers that they have broke up a little bit. They did get around there. You take a look at the J.W. Potts instant replay.
You see, once he got through his block, ahead of his blocking, he still picked up another 4 yards or so. And a 1st down. Ball is just on James Monroe's side of the 50-yard line. Robertson fighting forward, a gain of 2 yards. Good job by the Bluefield defense. See, James Monroe will have to run one more play. There's about a 2nd differential in the game clock and the play clock. 2nd down and 8. Robertson over the right side. Still on his feet. He's going to pick up more than what it originally looked like. And he'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. That will be in the 2nd quarter, though. That's the end of the 1st quarter. James Monroe with the lead, 9-7 over the Bluefield Beavers. Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship game brought to you by Rays and Sudden Link Communications. So after the 3rd down carry by Robertson, will be 3rd and 5. Robertson in the first quarter, 8 carries for 62 yards. So the junior quarterback having a good first half running the ball. And on the third down carry to the right side, he is going to be close to a first down. This is going to all depend on the spot of the ball. He had to get it over the 41-yard line, and he did. And they're going to have to measure this one. What's your call? You're sitting right on the 41.
I am. I am sitting right there. Fourth down.
The official didn't even measure.
Didn't even measure. It's so far back. They can eye that one.
I say you got to measure that. If I'm Coach Witt, I want that one measured. Looks like James Monroe is going to go for it, and I don't blame him. They haven't been tackled in the backfield yet tonight.
That's right.
Fourth down and inches for the Mavericks. Robertson gets the ball, follows Kiesel, and he will pick up the first down. Down to the 35-yard line.
Picked up a nice 5 yards on that.
Picked up 5.
Yep.
So you're wondering right now, when I'm watching this game, how did Bluefield hold him to 7 points?
Right.
Because they are moving the ball very effectively.
Yeah, and you would think that Bluefield would be familiar with the way they're running this offense.
First down. Tincher gets the handoff back over the right side and lowers his head.
This Bluefield defense must be so fast, because it looks like he just has holes that he can get behind, and then they're on him, and the runner gains a couple yards no matter who it is.
It looked like that time when Tincher was running the ball, he had his head down, and maybe he had some holes to run through, but
didn't see
maybe
him,
if he had his head up, he would have saw him and reacted better to him. 2nd and 8 for the Mavericks. Robertson back to pass. He's under pressure. And finally looking to go to Frazier, but
I think the turf got it that time. Jumped up and tackled him.
Taylor Robertson doing a good job getting away from the pressure.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, for not being a prolific passer.
Yeah, well, this is the case you can pretty much say he's a running back,
right?
Playing quarterback. He's got
that's
the running
what
back's
I think
number.
too. Yeah. He just happens to be called the quarterback because somebody had to.
He said, well, I'll play quarterback, but I'm not wearing a quarterback's number.
That's right.
3rd down and 8. Tincher, he gets the ball. He goes back to pass. Open receiver Ray at the 5. And good coverage downfield by Ansel Ponder. Ray was open when he first broke out into the secondary, but the ball was just a little bit underthrown.
Take a look at the J.W. Potts instant replay. Nice little pitch to Tincher, and he is open when he gets there. I think he just needs to keep running. And that obviously wasn't a quarterback throw. It really went in the air. It got a lot of air underneath it. Is
if it's a
part
little
of the
bit
problem.
More on line, more out in front.
Right, a little more zip.
One Ray could run under into the end zone. Bring up 4th down. Frazier gets a knuckleball up in the air. It's going to hit the 5 and go straight into the end zone. And Bluefield will take over at the 20-yard line. So that time, defense finally stiffened up. It looked like James Monroe was going to drive down the field again. So we've seen 2 pass attempts tonight from James Monroe. They average about 4 pass attempts on the year.
Yeah, well, that was 3. They had the 1 touchdown and the 2 down here.
That's right. So they've got 1 more to go.
Yeah. No, and 3 more quarters. 2 and a,
Out of the wing tee. It's going to be a quick pass out to Cole. Blocking sets up, or Ponder. And we've got a flag that comes flying in from the back jug.
I don't know if he's going to give him.
Looks like we might have a hold. Sort of a wide receiver screen set up out there. And the blocking was late getting out, and Ansel Ponder didn't have much running room. It's a legal block in the back.
Yeah, I thought it might have been we don't name numbers in high school, but when I see him.
So spot of the foul is the 21-yard line, which is about the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be pretty much first down and 20. You're going to mark the ball at the 11-yard line. The original line of scrimmage was just past the 20, so 2nd and 19 officially for Bluefield. Will Cole, the quarterback, will line up under center again as they go out of the wing tee. Brooks in motion. The handoff goes right up the middle. And Jake Lilly nowhere to run.
Well, James Monroe defense going to have to stiffen up here too. As you see,
When Jake Lilly just put the brakes on and changed direction there, and I think the coaches may have wanted him to continue in that straight line.
And Bluefield has their own little stable of runners too.
Yes, they do.
Pick and choose from.
Brooks in motion, gets the handoff over the right side, fakes up the middle. He's looking for some open room, and he finds some to the sideline. And Sean Brooks showing you why he's a leading rusher for Bluefield this year.
Yeah, he's just able to make that step forward like he did on his touchdown run. See this? Shifting gears. Where am I go? Nope. Just makes it to the outside, just a few yards short of the first down.
Taylor Robertson comes up with a stop. It's going to be 3rd and less than a yard for Bluefield. Patterson in motion. The handoff is going to go straight up the middle to Lilly, and he will pick up a first down past the 35-yard line.
Well, that was a big series of downs for Bluefield to be down 1st and 19 and get the first down.
Eight minutes to go in the second quarter. James Monroe with the lead.
First down Beavers. First down and 10. Back to 35-yard line.
Patterson in motion. He will get the pitch. And showing some quickness, but finally wrapped up by Kiesel.
Yeah, that was a nice wrap-up tackle, but you saw how fast Patterson is.
See Patterson, only a sophomore, 5'10", 155 pounds, showing you his quickness there. And it looked like he may be able to get to the outside. If he would have had a lot more than just 5 yards on that carry. Brooks in motion. Handoff will go to Bose over the right tackle, and he is going to be a yard short of a first down.
He's got some quickness, though, when he hit that hole. JW Pods Insurance Instant Replay. See, he finds it, but they were able to converge on that pretty quickly.
3rd and 1 for the Beavers. They will stay in that wing tee offense. Hand off to Bose right up the middle, and he will have enough for the first down and takes the ball into James Monroe's end of the field, down to the 47-yard line.
Well, you're right. And Bluefield's looking a little bit like James Monroe, just grounding it out on the ground and eating up the time.
Go with what's working. And right now, the run is working for Bluefield. You know, with a lot of times you see a quarterback, you know, he's uses the pass, and then that first interception comes up on the second play. You think, we're going to lay off the pass for a while. Right now, the run game is working. And a little bit of mix-up in the backfield. You saw both Brooks and Patterson go in motion. It's going to be a legal shift.
You see Patterson looking at Brooks.
Patterson should have just got set.
Well, and here's the difference between the senior and the sophomore. Brooks act like nothing was going on. He continued with the play, and Patterson's like, what's going on? And I think Patterson was probably going to tell the ref, you got to throw a flag on us here. They were waiting.
It was a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
You see a legal shift.
It's almost like Patterson. We got to do that over. I need a do-over.
2nd down and 11 after the penalty. There are no do-overs.
I guess he's getting it, though. He's just losing it down.
Brooks in motion. It's going to be the reverse misdirection to Patterson. He is wrapped up by Nick Kiesel and thrown down for a loss.
Well, you see the reverse here on the J.W. Potts replay. With Patterson, he kind of gets tripped up by his own guy, slows him down a little bit, and Kiesel able to attack him. But that they declined that penalty, which made it 2nd down, so now it's 3rd down and 18. And you want to think, that might have been good.
Yeah. Kiesel,
good strategy.
5'10", 180-pound junior defensive end, coming up with a big play there. 3rd and 18. Brooks in motion, out of the shotgun. Coles is going to look to throw the ball, throws it out in the flat to Brooks. And he goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line.
Well, I thought that was a good play to try to utilize the speed of Brooks. You got him out to the outside, just when it's 3rd and 18. He picked up a nice 10-yard. Well, no, what did he pick up, 5 yards?
Yeah, it looked like he had some room to get up
like
the field more, but
yes.
Didn't quite pay attention to where he was at.
Right.
So 4th down. And Sexton is on to do the punting for Bluefield. Ballingy deep. Nice kick. Ballingy takes the ball and goes down to his knees at the 21-yard line. And we will take a break. On the field, James got an injured player on the field for Bluefield. Bluefield with down 7-9 to the James Monroe Mavericks. You can see Brandon Harris is getting helped off the field. I believe that's a 5.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes. He is the cousin of Chris Harris, number 53.
Hurt after that last play. James Monroe, plenty of time on the clock, 4:35 to go in the first half. Mavericks up 9-7. Direct snap to Kiesel, and has a good run. Pickup of 7 yards.
Well, it either makes it 4 running backs you worry about or 4 quarterbacks you worry about. We've seen Ernie Tincher attempt to pass too.
Second and 3. Robertson with a carry. Broke it back up the middle, and he is near a first down. I think he got past the 32-yard line. That's where he had to get for a first down.
Yep, they're calling a first down.
First and 10 for James Monroe. Robertson back to pass, looks deep, goes to Ray, and he hauls it in. And Ponder slipped away from Ponder and couldn't keep his feet. Ponder comes back, the tackle. Logan Ray with a nice reception there.
Well, you saw him wide open. Take a look at J.W. Potts instant replay. Taylor Robertson airing it out. He could throw it. We can see it.
Well, I really like this offense because you're choosing when you want to throw, not when the defense wants you to throw.
Yeah, yeah.
The defense has put you in a situation to throw.
And I think, they're why. I mean, and why wouldn't you be?
Coach Witt is really doing a good job right now of choosing when he wants to throw the ball, and it has worked so far. Tincher gets the carry over the left side and will pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, one of these times I would just like to see, because his blocker was way out in front of him. Justin Romanello was out in front of him, and they were just able to converge right behind him and tackle him. And if he breaks the outside on him.
See the clock winds down near 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Robertson back to pass again, and he had Ray open, and Ray stopped and turned around, and it looked like Robertson was expecting him to go on up towards the pylon in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, they're having some wide open receivers.
So that will bring up 3rd and 5 for James Monroe. And Bluefield needing to come up with the stop. They don't want to go down any more than they are. Robertson under pressure and is taken down in the backfield by McClanahan. And a big sack by Bluefield.
Well, it almost is like they went to that well a little bit too long. They kept testing and testing, James Monroe did, thinking, wow, we got some people wide open there. But when you're not used to doing this all the time, things like that can happen, because it looked like they had enough blockers. They had helmet on helmet.
When there was almost a block, ball is going to get away, and so Bluefield deep into their own end of the field. Yeah, on that previous play, Eric McClanahan, defensive end, finally broke through the blocking.
Free, yeah.
Coming hard off the corner and made the play. We've got a break on the field. We'll take 1-2. You're watching the West Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship game. We'll be right back. We are back at Wheeling Island Stadium for the AA Championship game. West Virginia High School football here at the Super 6 in Wheeling. And Bluefield's going to spread things out a little bit. They're going to run wide receiver screen to Ponder and can't get to the outside. White will run him out of bounds after a 2-yard pickup.
They read that pretty well. Well, you see it, all 3 of them lined up there. And the defense read it pretty well.
Yeah, Will Cole has had a good season passing the football.
Certainly has.
And racked up over 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns on the year. Only 5 interceptions coming into this game. He's already thrown 1, so move that up to 6. But this is a place, too, where you don't want to make a mistake deep in your end of the field. You're already down by 2 points. Spread formation. Brooks will get the ball. Flag flies in the air. Brooks trying to get to the outside, and there is nowhere to go to the outside or back to the inside. And we will have 2 flags on the play, maybe offsetting penalties. We'll have to wait and see a call from the official. Looked like one may have been a face mask, one may have been a motion penalty. Get a good look at the officials discussing things right here. So this is probably where Coach Fred Simon, he's going to want to play it safe but try to come up with a big play. Replay the down. Go back to the last line of scrimmage and do it all over again. About the only thing that penalized Bluefield there was time off the clock. So we've seen him with the sweep to the outside. He tried to set up the wide receiver screen to Ponder. And he's trying safe things, trying to make big plays out of safe plays. Out of the shotgun. Ponder in motion again. He will get the ball and sweep this time. Fallen is blocking to the outside and does find a hole up the middle. And look at the speed of Ponder. The ball is stripped away by Ballingy, and James Monroe comes up with a turnover. It looked like Ponder had a big play going there.
Well, and what he carried life, he was carrying it like a loaf of bread.
Yes. And John Ballingy comes up with the strip and recovery.
And I mean, this is exactly what they needed. Look at all that coverage and that blocking that he had. And Brandon Harris feeling pretty good. But look how, well, yeah, he's still carrying it. He's not close enough to his body.
And it was Ponder trying to get the ball over top of Ballingy's head, and it just hit his head. Yep. I thought originally Ballingy had hit it with his hand. So what a turn of events. James Monroe with 1:11 left. The ball's at the 41-yard line, and they may have a chance to put some points on the board before they go in at half. Robertson right up the middle, and will get stacked up at the 37-yard line. Give him a gain of 4 on the carry.
And Ponder, a streaky kind of runner like that, and that's what he was showing, but you got to be able to keep that ball close to your body.
If he would have got that one tackle past Ballingy, he may have had a big gain there, but that's
he may have gone all the way.
As they always say, game of inches, and that time the inches went in the favor of James Monroe. Robertson back to pass. Covered, he's going to break it up the middle and has some open space ahead of him. Gets run out of bounds finally by Patterson.
Nice hit out there, but you see he had to get to the outside to get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Taylor Robertson making a good decision there, holding on to the football.
He sure was. It looked like Logan Ray. You know, he's looking straight down there because that's where he's open, and then just decides, wait a minute, I'm basically a runner. And he's got to run east to west on that one.
And he does get the ball out of bounds, so the clock stops there at the 25-yard line. And their field goal kicker, Logan Ray, he has a good foot. But I think they need to get just a little bit closer to attempt a field goal. Robertson back to pass again. He's going to go to Frazier at the 20-yard line.
You got to like how they're using the out of bounds, stopping the clock.
And 2nd down and 5. More importantly, though, 22.8 seconds left in the first half. James Monroe still does have 2 timeouts here. Ray will line up wide to the left. Tincher wide to the right, out of the shotgun. Robertson will follow Kiesel, and he will pick up another couple of yards, and there is a timeout called on the field by James Monroe. So 16.7 seconds to go. James Monroe calls timeout. More importantly, get the clock stopped, give him time enough to possibly pick up a first down. So what do you think? Go for a touchdown here?
Yes.
Go for the end zone?
20.
They're at the 18-yard line. It'd be about a 35-yard. It'd be about a 35-yard attempt. They would spot the ball at the 25-yard line, 7 yards back from the line of scrimmage.
I would go with the.
If they go get a first down, the clock will stop. But then as soon as they get the chain set.
But they still have that one timeout left that they could use it if they have to go for a field goal.
But they're getting in that. They're getting in that area with 16.7 seconds left that they don't have a lot of time to make any mistakes. If they don't pick up the first down and they call a timeout there, they'll probably have to kick the field goal.
Right. Well, I would look for the pass, but then you have Robertson, and you have several people who could throw that pass, but then they could also run the ball, and as soon as you run it, as soon as you're down, you got to call timeout. And just don't lose yardage.
Robertson hit in the backfield and driven down to the ground by Aaron Bowes, the nose tackle. And there is another timeout on the field. Look on the replay.
Yep. Played it conservative, and he feels good about Logan Ray's foot.
The Mavericks call a timeout. And they get the ball just past the 20. They'll have to talk over what they want to do. If you would like a DVD copy of tonight's championship game, send $19.95 plus $5 shipping and handling to Suddenlink Media, 300 Star Avenue, Suite 321, Parkersburg, West Virginia 26101. Be sure to include which championship game you would like. You can also call area code 304-422-6088 and ask for Pam. Visa and MasterCard are accepted.
And it's a good one to have in your collection.
That's right. It is shaping up to be a very good
one.
game. Just like the first time they met. Close game.
Yep, back in October. And that's, you asked why they didn't score more. Of course, they've only scored 9 points so far against Bluefield. They only scored 7 last time, and they scored that after a fumble by Bluefield. So they know they have to capitalize on any mistakes that Bluefield has made. And able to get 3 points off the interception tonight.
Looks like they are going to line up for a field goal attempt. Ballingy will hold for Logan Ray, and they lost 2 yards on the last play, so this is going to be about a 27-yard or a 37-yard attempt from the 27-yard line. We know Ray has the leg. Does he have the accuracy? Boy, it's close to being blocked, but it is drilled right through the uprights, and James Monroe adds on to their lead, 12-7, 6.8 seconds to go in the second half. And Logan Ray, after missing the extra point, he pointed off the upright, has come back and had 2 big kicks.
And
both
did you
of them,
call that one?
That was a 37-yard attempt.
Well, the record for a state championship game is a 41-yard field goal, and it was actually by Stone from Bluefield in 2004 when they won the state championship against Wayne. So this may rank up there, maybe
Close.
Second or third longest field goal.
So that will be a big boost for James Monroe going into the locker room. Of course, you never know, things could turn around right here.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
And go Bluefield's way on the
it's just
return.
an explosive. I mean, one touchdown puts them in the lead, puts Bluefield in the lead, and they have such an explosive. They still have the speed. And we haven't seen the arm, a real good look at Will Cole's arm. He came in here, remember, almost 1,400 yards passing. And just because he had one interception doesn't mean they're going to stop.
That last drive, we'll get to it right after the kickoff. Ray, low line drive will be taken in by Ponder at the 17-yard line, straight up the middle of the field. Gets to the outside, trying to get to the outside and can't do it, is wrapped up by Logan Ray. That last drive for Bluefield, 5 plays, covered 14 yards, 1 minute and 5 seconds, and capped off by a 37-yard field goal by Logan Ray. 0.3 of a second to go in the first half.
And James Monroe getting 6 points off of turnovers against Bluefield.
So 1 play to go here. Got 3 deep defensive backs for James Monroe. The handoff will go to Brooks around the right side, and he will pick up a first down, but is run out of bounds after a gain of about 13 yards. So that will be the end of the first half. The score, James Monroe 12, Bluefield 7. We'll be back with the Mr. B Potato Chip halftime show. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium. AA championship game. James Monroe with the lead, 12-7 over the Bluefield Beavers. And after a very entertaining first half, I wonder if they can keep it up into the second half.
Well, Bluefield gets the ball first, so it's going to be James Monroe defense tested right away. It only takes 1 touchdown, and Bluefield's back in the lead with it.
You look at the season stats for James Monroe, and they're pretty much holding true, except for the passing. We've seen. I said at halftime I was mistaken. Tincher had thrown 1 pass. He was 0 for 1
for James Monroe. Yeah.
Yeah, and Robertson was 3 of 5 throwing the ball in the first half, but Robertson was their leading rusher in the first half, which he has been through most of the year. And Bluefield will receive the ball to start out the second half. You see the official giving the signal there at midfield. But one thing is surprising, Will Cole has not had he's only been 2 of 3 passing the ball, one interception for 7 yards. And on the season, he was 97 of 184 passing and 18 touchdowns. And we just haven't seen the passing game. Bluefield got it moving on the ground. They stayed with the wing T for a while, but just didn't get the passing game going. Tried to late in the second half.
Well, I think we'll probably see more of the passing in the second half for Bluefield. And they got to come out and play their game.
Yeah, they're only down by 5 points, which is, 1 touchdown, and they're back in the lead.
Yep.
So you know that Coach Fred Simon has been probably error-free football in the second half and play their ball game, and they'll be just fine. Logan Ray will do the kicking for James Monroe. Ponder and Patterson deep for Bluefield. And Ray boots it deep, and it hits inside the 5 and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line.
He's feeling it now.
Yes, he is.
They've been using his leg a lot in that first half, just getting things warmed up again.
Old-style offense, old-style kicker.
Their first time to the state championship. I mean, think about that. The school's been around for 14 years, consolidated down in Monroe County of Peterstown and Union and several other little smaller schools, and or smaller communities rather.
Hand off to Bose, and he is going to pick up 2 yards and then gets stacked up and pushed back.
And I'm not sure they're fighting on something. There must have been a ball loose.
They're calling second down, so if there was, it must have been recovered by Bluefield.
Yeah. But the school's been around 14 years. They've been in the playoff 11 years, the first time to make it to the state championship game.
And they'd been to the semifinals so many times, they just
Yeah.
couldn't get over that hump and get into the championship game. They lost last year to, I believe it was Wayne, or to Tulsa, one of the two.
Tulsa beat Bluefield last year.
Okay, so it was
must have been
Wayne.
Wayne, yeah.
But they are here this year and making a statement right now. It's going to be a double reverse. Brooks to Patterson, and Patterson is spun around after he gains maybe a yard.
You know, Kiesel, number 24, he's done a good job. You know, he didn't get the tackle, get the whole wrap up, but he wraps up pretty well. If you notice him, he's getting around the legs. He did that in the first half for a few tackles.
And does a good job that time. Holding to a yard gain. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. For Bluefield at their own 24-yard line. Called 3rd down and 6. Cole's back to pass. Looks over to the sideline and in and out of the hands of Cole. Tincher was up there to defend it.
Yeah, I think he got a
I don't know if Ponder.
Ponder.
Yeah, Ponder.
And I think if that defender in the back had stayed back a little bit, he might have gotten the tip. See the Duncan Automotive instant replay. And Cole can throw it. He's getting out there. No, I don't even think he touched it.
I think it went over Tincher's hand, and Ponder just lost concentration on it. Nice kick downfield by Sexton. Ball is bobbled by Ballingy, and he is lucky to get it back because there was a Bluefield defender right there on top of it. I couldn't see who it was.
It was number 30, Chase Joyner.
And he was fighting what you're on the replay.
It just slipped right through his hands.
Yep.
Yep, he got to it right before he did, before Joyner did.
Ballingy got caught looking upfield to see where the pressure was coming from, and it just about cost him. Robertson with the carry up the middle, gain of 4 on the carry.
Really have to be some patient runners and patient blockers too. You see how they just weave their way through there?
And you know, I believe this is the first time we've ever seen this type of offense run here on Network West Virginia. Seen plenty of the wing tee,
Yes.
but not the single wing.
That off-balance line.
Robertson again over the right side, and he will roll forward, call it the 44-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2 for James Monroe. So big play here for Bluefield, trying to get the ball back. Robertson fakes the handoff. He's back to pass, 3rd and short, and they are not going to pick up the first down. Miller with the sack, and that's a surprise right there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, they can either surprise them with that pass, but what they have to be able to do is get it out there quickly. And he did have he had Jeremiah Smearman, it looked like.
High kick. It's a short kick. Bluefield is going to have to watch out it doesn't hit him. Players get away from it, and the ball will be downed at the 41-yard line. So really, what was that line about? 95% passing?
95% running.
Yeah, or 95%. Coach Witt was giving me the business on that. They have thrown the ball more than their average tonight.
Well, that's maybe some of the changes that he saw coming in.
Yeah, although that doesn't count as a pass. He was sacked, but was dropping back to pass.
Yeah.
And Bluefield will come out in the shotgun. Brooks with a handoff up the middle. And that James Monroe defense will stack him up after a gain of 2.
Well, and this is what the James Monroe defense did back in October when they played.
Chad Parker in on the tackle for James Monroe.
Bluefield is averaging in the 30s when it comes to scoring. They only scored 14 against them, and they only have 7 right now.
Yeah.
That's some of the defense, and the defensive one of the defensive coaches is Steve Newberry. And if that sounds familiar, because he used to play for West Virginia as a defensive back. Played with some guy named Rich Rodriguez.
Never heard of him.
Never? Yeah. Only us North Marion people know him.
Cole's back to pass, and it's up the sideline and wide open. Heading towards the end zone, and touchdown Bluefield. Chase Joyner on the reception, and it was a beautiful pump fake by Will Cole that set that up.
Coach Newberry not too happy about that on his defensive backs. The Duncan Automotive instant replay right here. Just a nice pass, and Chase Joyner able to release himself from the defense, and then look at the speed. He can turn it on.
And you can see how wide open he was after that pump fake, and he was able to put a move on Robertson and take it into the end zone. Sexton on the kick. Good job getting the ball down, and the kick is up and good. Bluefield with the lead, 14-12 over James Monroe. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium in Wheeling, West Virginia. And boy, it didn't take long for Bluefield to turn things around right there, the scoring drive.
That's what we said with this high-powered offense of Bluefield. They did it in 2 plays, 60 yards, took 52 seconds off of the clock, 58-yard TD pass. A nice pump fake, as you said. And that's what we said. We have not seen what Will Cole can offer, and there we saw it. It doesn't hurt. You got some speedy receivers on the other end, too.
Boy, he does. That time it was Joyner we've seen before. Ponder the speed he has.
Now they're trying to get the... Well, there's Joyner.
Too busy celebrating.
That's right.
And he is back on the field on the kickoff team. Sexton to kick deep. Ballingy and Tincher deep for James Monroe. It's going to be taken by the up back. Still on his feet, trying to fight forward is DJ Robinson. and he will get to the 35-yard line. I don't know if that was intended, a design kick, or just an accident. But James Monroe with good starting field position.
We talk about all the seniors. You know, the lower classmen, the underclassmen are also getting some playing time too, like Robertson right there, a sophomore.
So James Monroe, after spending the whole first half in the lead, just take a few seconds to turn that around and put Bluefield on top. Robertson with the carry over the right side, and he will pick up 4 yards on second and third effort.
I know, you think, how did he squeak through that? But he's got a lot of his guys right there. Duncan Automotive instant replay.
You see just
yeah.
Looked like somebody might have got away with a face mask there, a little close. 2nd and 6 for James Monroe. Kiesel will take the direct snap over the left side, and he finds some running room over midfield and down to the 44-yard line for Nick Kiesel. Nice run. We've seen him wear out the right side, and that time they caught Bluefield off guard.
And see, they still stick with the, you know, that's the reason right there as you take a look at the Duncan Automotive replay. This is live coverage though right now. They stick with, you know, I want to see them pop it outside sometime, but that was the reason that they stick with their blockers.
Kiesel again, direct snap, this time behind his right guard. Gain of 3 on the carry. Robertson with the snap. He goes over the right side again, and he is run down by Brooks. It looked like he had the sideline to get to, but Sean Brooks shut that down in a hurry.
Well, and that's what I was just noticing that. It looks like they're not holding their blocks as long as they just got to hold it another half second. You see McClanahan was able to get off, and Chris Frazier, he's really used as that blocking back. You talked about Kiesel being called the blocking back. I think Frazier's being used more than that.
Tincher back to pass. He's looking to Ray in the corner, and is nice coverage. Ponder comes over and knocks it down.
And it's open. The thing is, and Ray's the only one open, it's just too much air underneath it.
They're too slow getting the ball over to him.
Yeah, if they could just fire it in there a little bit harder.
That brings up 4th down. Look at the replay.
He lofts it right up over there. Great coverage by Ponder. Got his hand up there.
Ponder and Brooks both over there. Yeah, it's just they after the handoff and Tincher gets the ball, it takes too long to develop.
And you know, I mean, we all look over there. You know it's going to number 14 over there in the corner.
There's a nice kick. It's going to roll down to the 14-yard line, and Bluefield will have a long way to go on this possession. 5:02 to go in the 3rd quarter.
But they've been able to break out some big plays.
So we'll have to see deep in their end of the field if Cole is going to have the green light to put the ball in the air. Started out the second half a little different than he did at the beginning of the ball game.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of, how much a 58-yard pass for TD builds some confidence.
Out of the shotgun. Handoff will go up the middle to Lilly. And he will pick up about 3 yards on the carry. Jake Lilly, not one of their starters, but gets several. He's had 80 carries on the year, 564 total yards, 7.1 yards per carry average.
Yeah, and he's one of those sophomores that got a lot more playing time earlier in the season. And then you just have the speed of Aaron Bowes.
Brooks will get the handoff, and he will pick up the first down and is taken down at the 29-yard line, and a first down carry for the senior running back for Bluefield.
You saw Cole hand on the snap.
Nice blocking on the interior line that time by Bluefield just to get Brooks open space in the secondary. Brooks again, and he is tripped up in the backfield. That was Nick Conte getting in there.
I think he found himself at the right place.
Right place at the right. Nothing wrong with that.
That's right. He still get a little bit of credit when they go back and look at films and grade it.
Yeah,
they'll see who gets the.
Good play,
tackle.
Nick. You were right where you should have
yeah.
been. 2nd down and 8, gain of 2. You can see they're changing it up a little bit. They're going with the running game, but out of the spread formation and the shotgun.
And that means you never know when it's going to be there. With that long pass with those speedsters.
Handoff up the middle to Lilly, still on his feet, and will be probably a yard short of the first down, but Jake Lilly showing some strength. 5'11", 185-pound sophomore. See, hanging on to that ball. Kiesel was trying to strip the ball from him, and Lilly was saying, no, I'm going to hold the ball plus gain another 5 yards.
That's right, while we're fighting it. There's our Fred Simon, head coach.
3rd and less than 1. Lilly will get the carry right up the middle, and he will pick up the first down. Conte and Pritt will stack them up along with others in the James Monroe defense, but not until Lilly picks up the first down. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. And they were going with 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left.
Yeah, that's a new look, and you see how.
Going to get it to Ponder out in open field, and he has a ton of blockers ahead of him. And up the sideline he goes, one guy to beat, and Robertson can't get to him. Touchdown, Bluefield. Ponder showing his speed off. And you saw they busted out of the huddle real quick, trying to catch James Monroe off guard, and I think they did.
That's exactly what they did, too. You see those 4 receivers over to the right-hand side. And right here, Sean Brooks makes the key block, too.
And it looks
right
like
there
Robertson.
on Josh Wright, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Robertson had the angle on him, but Ponder showing his speed. Sexton on the kick. McClanahan to hold. Last time, McClanahan did a great job handling a bad snap. And this time he can't handle one. I must have jinxed him. Sexton picks the ball up, heading towards the pylon. Can't get there. Extra point is no good. 20-12 is our score with 2:09 left in the 3rd quarter. Bluefield with a lead over the James Monroe Mavericks. Welcome back to the AA championship game. Wheeling Island Stadium. Ron Cook along with Natalie Tennant. Natalie's playing hurt tonight.
I am.
Got a little bit of a cold
That's
going.
That's okay.
She's a trooper.
This is the state
She's here.
championship, though. You got to do it. You see the Bluefield fans and the team getting back into it. They're a little shocked, I think, that first half. But here's that scoring drive. Look, 6 plays, 85 yards, 2:50 off the clock, and a 57-yard TD pass. Sounds familiar.
Yes, it does. Very familiar.
And
But the pass only went about 10 yards down the line of scrimmage.
Well,
you
you now see how Will Cole has 1,300 yards coming into this game.
Sexton low line drive kick is kicked around by Robinson and is some real trouble. Stacked up at the 14-yard line, and that all started with that line drive kick. Robinson reaching up, did a good job the first time he got it. This time, not quite as fortunate.
Yeah, and Bluefield fans wanting a flag for what looked like a block in the back.
And I could hear
Like
him.
I
I could hear
said.
him calling for the penalty flag. And one in particular.
And these teams know each other so well.
Yeah, they're starting. It's new rivalry because James Monroe's only been around 14 years, but it is starting to turn into a rivalry. Tincher gets the ball on the reverse, gets to the outside. He will pick up a first down. Finally run down by Jake Lilly.
Yeah, I was wondering we were going to hear a little bit more from Ernie Tincher.
Third leading carrier on the ball team with almost 1,000 yards. Coming into the ball game, 9:20 on the season. And we hadn't heard much from him tonight, but a nice carry. Get the ball away from the goal line out to the 26-yard line and a first down for the Mavericks. Low snap. Kiesel fakes the pitch to Frazier and will hang on to it. And he is spun around after he is hit.
He's fast. He's fast and he's tough.
Got a Bluefield player down on the field. Couldn't tell what happened.
I don't know if he was the one that hit Kiesel or not. It was
Brooks and Brandon Harris that were in on the tackle. And
Brandon Harris is standing up there.
Yeah, and Brooks both are.
Oh, it's McClanahan.
So I really couldn't tell.
I don't know if
what
his neck
happened.
got strained. If he's the one who hit him.
They've got him laying down on the ball. And they are holding him up right there.
I guess he was all right. When they jerked him up like that, there were no injuries.
McClanahan comes off the field. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, he had some key tackles in the first half.
Kiesel again with the direct snap, and he is stacked up after a gain of a yard. That'll bring up third and a long 2 for the Mavericks. You see the clock winding down. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. There's a handoff to Kiesel, and he will not get the first down. Gets to the 35-yard line, and that is it. And we'll have to see. They won the play clock. Now we are under 25 seconds to go. In fact, 15 seconds to go in the first half. So James Monroe will not have to run another play. And that's what they will do. They will let the clock run out. At the end of the third quarter, Bluefield takes the lead, 20-12 over James Monroe. Welcome back to the AA West Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship game, brought to you by Raids and Suddenlink Communications. Ron Cook along with Natalie Tennant and James Monroe. After holding the lead in the first half, coming into the fourth quarter, they are down 4th and 1, and it looks like they're going to line up. They're going for the state championship right here.
Yes.
Not going to wait around until later in the fourth quarter. They're going to test it right now. Robertson gets the ball, heads to the right side. He will pick up the first down. And a lot more out to the 46-yard line, almost the 47-yard line. And how about Coach Witt?
Nice run. Yep. You got to believe in your players.
Living on the edge.
This is what you're here for.
Good, just
nice 10-yard pickup.
Good blocking out in front of him. Robertson again with a carry to the right side, breaks one tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they should have had him line of scrimmage or even behind the line of scrimmage.
And he will pick up about 3 yards. 2nd down and 7 for the Mavericks.
So the Mavericks will have Robertson and Kiesel back for that single wing tee if they decide to go with it next year.
Yes. It never hurts to have experience coming back.
But most of their offensive line is gone.
Yeah, their offensive line, you can just wave bye-bye.
Yeah.
They're all going. Logan Ray, he'll be coming back.
Yep.
Tight end, wide receiver. Kiesel takes a snap, gives it to Tincher over the left side, and he is hit by Brooks, trying to make something work. He will gain a yard to midfield. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
I think Bluefield just such a quick defense that they just hit those holes that you see. I mean, you see them, I see them, and they see them too, and then it's.
It looks like there's something there, and then the next thing you know, you're getting hit at the knees, and down you go. And that the Bluefield linebackers, Jake Lilly, Sean Brooks, and Cody Wassam are really quick to the ball. Robertson back to pass. He goes over the middle, and Tincher drops the ball. Hit him right in the hands. That was a nice pass by Taylor Robertson.
Because it went another place other than Logan Ray.
That'll bring up 4th down and 6. Look at the replay.
Right across there. Of course, you know, it's a little bit more difficult coming across when you're extending and
it's a championship game.
Yeah.
You got to come up with those catches. So after the 4th down conversion, there's a snap that goes over the head, and he is on the run now. Kiesel with the block in the backfield, and he has come up, and he is hurting. And he took his helmet off as soon as he got hit, and the official is waving.
I think it's a leg.
It was snapped over the head of the punter, Chris Frazier.
I think his knee got disconnected.
We'll have to wait and see. Well, that's going to be a big loss if it is, because he's been big on defense and offense.
And it's just that other. He wraps up well on defense and
so we'll have
adds
to,
another little
hopefully
wrinkle.
he'll be okay. You don't want this. You don't want this to happen in the championship game. Watch here on the replay. You can see the ball going over Frazier's head, and he gets on the run, and
I don't know. He threw the block.
He threw the block on Ansel Ponder, and they're saying it's his ankle. So we'll have to wait and see if they can get him on the field. Hey, Natalie, did you know that the Friends of Cole Group is proud to be a partner of the WVSSAC?
All right.
Through programs such as these football playoffs, these young students are encouraged, mentored, and developed into West Virginia leaders. To learn more about the Friends of Cole, log on to www.friendsofcole.org. So you can see a concern on the James Monroe sideline. So nothing's broken. He's able to get up off the field, so that's a good sign. I thought at first when he went down like that something must be broken, and the official waves over. But you can see he can't put any weight at all on that leg as they cart him off the field. So not only do we lose sight of the fact that they're going to lose Nick Kiesel, but the bad punt. And where Bluefield now is going to get the ball, it's in James Monroe's end of the field. You can see Nick Kiesel on the sideline. He's going to be looked at by the training staff. Out of the shotgun, Brooks will get the carry, sweep over the right side, and he will pick up a 1st down to the 33. They're going to mark it between the 33 and 34 yard line. but nevertheless a first down for Bluefield.
Yeah, Keysville, major loss on defense for James Monroe, too.
Spread formation out of the shotgun. Brooks in motion, going to have a penalty flag. Joyner was moved before the snap, so that will move Bluefield back 5 yards. And that's what it was. 5-yard penalty. First and 15 for the Beavers. Lilly and Brooks in the backfield along with Cole. Brooks in motion. The handoff will go to Lilly up the middle, and he will pick up about 3 yards on the carry.
Yeah, you see the spread offense now at Bluefield really, you know, they really shut it down in the first half, and now it's integral part, and they're able to do pretty much what they want with it.
That penalty putting them in a little bit of a hole. Second down and 12. So we'll have to see if Cole is going to pass the ball.
Coach Fred Simon going for his third state championship.
Handoff is right up the middle to Aaron Bowes, and he is stacked up after he picks up maybe a yard on the carry. It'll be third down and 11 yards. Joyner is going to be the wide out to the left. Wassum and Ponder, wide outs to the right. Cole is going to dump the ball right into the hands of Josh White, just like he did in the first half, and I think he was trying to get rid of the ball because of the pressure by James Monroe. But another costly turnover.
It was. James Monroe has to be able to do something with it to see how badly it hurts Bluefield, but you see he was getting a little bit of pressure and just underthrew it to Wassum.
And I think Will Cole was just wanting to get rid of the ball, and White saw him let go of it, and he stayed back, let Wassum go up the field. And Robertson with a big run takes it in to Bluefield's into the field, picks up a first down.
And Zach Mann's in there on offense. He'll certainly be used as a blocking fullback.
Yeah.
As you take a look at the Duncan Automotive replay. Right there behind Frazier, great open space.
Wassum finally runs him down, but not until after he picks up a first down at the 49-yard line. Tincher moved into the backfield with Robertson. He gets the pitch, and there is a flag on the play. I think it's going to be an unintentional face mask, so that'll be 5 yards against Bluefield, right in front of the official. And Tincher, not quite as big a back. He only goes 5'11", 160. Keysville 5'10", 180. And you can see that time, Tincher just not having the power that Keysville does when he runs the ball.
Almost looked like, you know, he held up.
And Bluefield faithful doesn't like the call, but looked like a good call from my vantage point up here. So that'll remain first and 5 after the penalty. Robertson over the right side, still on his feet as he cut back into the middle of the field.
Now, just that one time I want to see him go to the outside. I mean, did I not see that? Was there not a whole open space? He's got all white
But as you've mentioned,
as soon as I say it, then he scores 10. Then he gets 10 yards.
But the speed for Bluefield, I think he may think he can't get to the outside. Robertson again follows Frazier, and he will not
I see he's
gain
going to
any
say,
yards on the carry.
see, Natalie, I tried to get to the outside. but that wasn't the same as the last play. I mean, he had 4 white shirts in front of him.
3rd down and 3 for James Monroe. Inside 7 minutes to go in the ball game. They are down 8 points. They cannot afford to let this opportunity go by. Ball's inside Bluefield's end of the field. Robertson, he's back to pass. He's under pressure, and it's going to fall incomplete. And fortunate that it did. Lilly was in coverage back there, and you can see right there, it's thinking maybe he should have caught that one. Watch again.
Well, and he's rushed a little bit. You can see the rushing attack, and Smirma was not really open, and had he let him a little bit more, it was kind of thrown behind him, which gave Lilly an opportunity.
4th and 3, and we've seen them before in the 3rd quarter. They went for it on 3rd, and it was less than a yard, or 4th and less than a yard. We got 4th and 3 now, but I think the clock playing a factor with Coach Witt. Robertson, he's going to dump it short to Frazier, and Frazier falling down makes a nice catch, and will keep the drive alive for James Monroe.
Well, you have to give Robertson credit too, because he is he's passing it around, you know, because Logan Ray was open still, but nice catch by Frazier. He's getting up. He's saying, "Thank goodness I caught that one."
Yeah. A lot of pressure on these kids.
That was a lot of pressure, yeah. 4th down. He had both hands around it.
Robertson fakes a reverse, is back to pass, and everybody's covered downfield. He pulls it down and will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by that Bluefield secondary. They weren't fooled that time.
Well, you've talked about it the whole game. This is the most they've probably passed in probably several of their games put together. And he has receivers open, but it just shows with that timing and the confidence of the receivers. You know, how much more faster do I run to have it out in front of me, and will it be there if I outrun my coverage?
2nd and 11. Robertson has a
now
nice hole to run through,
inside,
follows
yeah.
Frazier, and on a 2nd and long 11 yards, Robertson will pick up the 1st down on that sweep that we've seen him run all night long.
That was a real nice run, and the inside was open there. See that? Frazier's leading the way again.
And a 1st down to the 22-yard line. And this is the drive right here that James Monroe is going to have to capitalize on and get 6 out of. Robertson switches things up. He'll go to the left side this time and is being hounded all the way to the sideline. But he gets inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Didn't look like he picked up that much yardage over there. He's going to get a 5-yard gain. Bluefield kept stringing him out and stringing him out. Second down and 5. Ball is at the 18-yard line. And one thing after that first missed extra point, if James Monroe does score here, they're going to have to go for 2.
Yes, they will.
And try to tie it up. Bluefield with an 8-point lead. Robertson back to pass. And again, good coverage downfield, and it is almost picked off by Lilly.
He's been sitting right in there.
He was looking to go to Zach Mann, his tight end, and Lilly just came whizzing by him and almost picked the ball off.
Yeah, he's looking more, you know, the first half it was all directed toward one person in one area of the field.
Yeah.
But he's now certainly using the other areas, and Jake Lilly though is starting to see it too.
Well, the Bluefield secondary is not getting fooled anymore on
Right.
Logan Ray and Ernie Tencher going downfield. Robertson to the right side. He is wrapped up, and he will take it inside the 15-yard line. Chris Harris was the first one to get to him, then Cody Wassam in there to help clean up. But that will bring up 4th down and 3. for James Monroe, and a field goal is not going to help them out a whole lot here. They are going to go for it on 4th down.
How many championship plays have they had in this series?
Several. This is their 2nd time they're going to go for it on 4th down. Robertson back to pass, under pressure, and shoots it to the sideline and falls incomplete. It looked like he was going for Smearman on the sideline and in and out of his hands. Really couldn't tell if the ball was deflected or he just was not able to hang on to it. But the Bluefield defense steps up with 3:48 to go in the ball game and shuts James Monroe down. Watch on the replay.
Yeah, just in and out. By the time Lilly hit him, and
I think that's when
to knock it out.
He probably should have caught.
Yeah.
And Robertson has looked good throwing the ball tonight. There's been a couple times he's been off a little bit, but for the most time, he's been on target and had a few drop tonight. Handoff right up the middle.
Now time becomes a concern for James Monroe.
Bowes, the ball carrier, and no gain on the play. And what Bluefield wants to do right now is grind some time off of that clock with an 8-point lead, but James Monroe has been able to conserve all of their timeouts. And Bluefield deep in their end of the field. Ponder wide to the right. Patterson in the slot out of the I formation, or wing T. Brooks to the outside. And he is collared at the 22-yard line. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
And for this Bluefield team, there's some pressure on them this game because, you know, they're 13-0. No undefeated team, Bluefield team that's ever come to a state championship has ever lost. And so they have that pressure on it, being an undefeated team. And, you know, there's so much tradition that goes on at Bluefield. They have that extra pressure.
We got a timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. Bluefield with a big 3rd down coming up. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium. Wheeling, West Virginia. 3rd down and 3, and James Monroe's season is starting to look a little dim. They need to shut him down. Here comes the misdirection up the middle. Brooks will have a 1st down, stays on his feet, and gets almost to the 40-yard line, and more importantly, picks up a 1st down. And James Monroe is probably going to have to start burning some of those timeouts right here. But that's, watch on the replay, that's one of the places where James Monroe needed to come up with a stop right there so they get the ball back in halfway decent field position.
But he had some nice coverage and a nice block there from Cody Wassam. Just moving it down, running it, staying in bounds, running the clock off.
1st down and 10. 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Patterson in motion. Bowes will get the handoff right behind his left tackle, Mike Miller. And he will gain about a yard, and there is a timeout called on the field by James Monroe. So they have got a lot of work to do. It'll be 2nd and 8 when we get back from the break. Second and 8 for Bluefield. Brooks will get the ball on the sweep to the outside, gets away from Tencher, gets away from Ballingy up the sideline. And the ball is fumbled. It's right underneath the legs of Robertson, and he recovers. What a big play. Robertson comes up and just strips the ball away at the end of the run. A big run by Sean Brooks.
Yeah, it was. He was just fighting for some extra yardage.
And really, what a nice run by Sean Brooks, but he just cannot finish it off, and he loses the ball. And we've seen
he's got the nice stutter step and the nice, you know, fake inside.
Look at the way he's holding it.
Carrying it like a loaf of bread. And he's
watch Robertson right there.
Right, yeah.
And it's right under his legs, and Robertson doesn't know it, and then he finally feels it and covers it up. So they get fairly good field position.
Would he not have had it? Even if they'd have tried to, he was down and he had possession, didn't he?
Well, you got to have it wrapped up. Robertson back to pass. Look to go to Tincher, but the ball is underthrown. 2 minutes and 1 second to go in the ball game. It's going to be 2nd down and 10, and this is a situation I'm sure that James Monroe does not like to be in.
Yeah, no, and you have to pass. But they've got, you know, they can get it to the outside. Robertson is a smart football player. You know, here's where you need a Nick Kiesel.
There's a timeout on the field. Bluefield wanting to get everybody on the same page and not give up a big play. You know, this has been such a good game, Natalie. You could get this on DVD. You want to know how? I'll tell you how. If you'd like to buy a DVD copy of tonight's championship game, send $19.95 plus $5 shipping and handling to Suddenlink Media, 300 Star Avenue, Suite 321, Parkersburg, West Virginia, 26101. Be sure to include which championship game you would like. You can also call 304-422-6088 and ask for Pam. Visa and MasterCard are accepted.
Yes, this is a great game. It just goes into the you know, the lore of these championship games of James Monroe and Bluefield.
Yeah, Bluefield with a long history of getting up
oh yeah,
to the championship game, and James Monroe, hopefully for them, starting a legacy like Bluefield has. 2nd down and 10. Tincher will take the direct snap, but there is a flag thrown on the play. Looks like it's going to push James Monroe back 5 yards due to motion. And it does move him back. 2nd down and 15. And 3 seconds ran off the clock. It went from 2:01 to 1:58. Play should have blown dead. So there should actually be 2 minutes and 1 second on the clock.
Nobody's asking for it.
Yeah, because it should have been blown dead after we came back off the timeout. And the official, yes, the official's going to ask right now 2 minutes and 1 second on the clock. So good job by the officials being right on top of the game, knowing that it was a dead ball foul, and the clock was still from the timeout. 2nd and 15 for the Mavericks. Tincher will take the snap again. And just can't get to the outside.
He was trying what I was asking for.
Yeah.
Well, with the tradition of both of these teams, Bluefield has the long winning tradition, 8 state championships in their school history, but also comes that burden too, because you know, they want to be as good as the 1997 team that they talk about and the 2004 team that both went undefeated.
Robertson back to pass, and a nice pass hitched Tincher on the sideline. Just went up the sideline, turned around, and gets out of bounds with a 1st down, 1:29 to go in the ball game. And Robertson, after a few passes in this half, not getting a whole lot of help from his receivers. Tincher hanging on to the ball that time. Ball spotted at the 46-yard line. So James Monroe still with a breath of life to go. Robertson back to pass under pressure, and intentional grounding right there as he threw the ball in no man's land. No one was around it either. And Robertson is getting up slowly. He has taken some shots tonight.
He sure has.
That'll be a loss of down also.
You know, it's a lot of added extra pressure. I mean, he's a key running back.
Yeah.
So that's
And
going to
sometimes when you're running it that hard, you don't have those legs underneath you to make a good pass.
move the ball all the way back to the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 23. So what turned into an uphill battle is now turned into about a mountain.
Yes.
Robertson will work out of the shotgun tight formation for James Monroe. Robertson's back to pass. He's going to go to Tincher again. Tincher pulls it in and is near a first down.
Yes, he is.
All depends on the spot of the official. He is going to be just a little bit short, and now they've got to fight the clock. They've only got one timeout to work with. You can see we are nearing a minute to go, and it'll be 3rd down and 1. Robertson gets everybody set. Tincher will take the direct snap, and he will pick up the first down inside the 40-yard line down to the 37. Clock will stop as they move the chains. 48.7 seconds to go, and James Monroe
They're moving.
still has that breath of life.
They got a chance. One timeout left.
And they need to get set and go.
Clock's running.
The clock is running. And there's movement on the end. I believe that was Ray that moved.
Yeah. I don't know if he fell off his stance or.
You know, those 5 yards, I really don't think they hurt him more now than the time that ran off the clock.
Right.
But they need to get set. They were caught off a little bit off guard after they picked up that first down. They should have been set and ready to go, and it took them time to set up. And Bluefield will return the favor with 30.3 seconds. The clock will stop, and they jumped offside. Now Miller's pointing across the line saying, they drew me off. We'll have to wait and see the call from the official. Illegal snap. You can see the official say that, so that will move them back even 5 yards further back. And the clock will roll again because it wasn't a defensive penalty. Robertson back to pass, under pressure, and he will go down at the 46-yard line. One timeout left. They need.
You might want to call it.
And they finally called it. Coach Witt called it with 13.4 seconds left, and we're getting just about in the miracle section of this ball game where they're going to have some kind of a miracle show up if they win this ball game for James Monroe.
They're going to have to. They got to throw it downfield. And you get in that situation where the defense knows what you're going to do.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people that help out the Super Six and the WVSSAC throughout their 2 days here and the 3 games that they have. For 6 years, State Farm Insurance has sponsored the WVSSAC Academic Achievement Award Program. State Farm Insurance is promoting both excellence in the classroom and athletic field of competition. Call your neighborhood State Farm agent for all your insurance needs. And State Farm, one of the big helps here, corporations that help here at the Super Six in Wheeling. And again, we can't say enough how much the Super Six committee takes care of everything here at the field, take care of the teams, the fans, everybody that shows up here for these championship games.
Yeah.
And just like it was last year, it started off the same way this year. Robertson back to pass. He's going to go deep down the sideline. It's going to be short and picked off by Joyner. And that will pretty much be the ball game. 5.9 seconds to go. Bluefield will have the ball. They are up 20-12 over the James Monroe Mavericks. And James Monroe, give them a lot of credit. They came out, had the lead 12-7 at halftime. But Bluefield with a couple of big plays. Look on the replay. Robertson just floats it up there and undershoots his intended receiver, Ernie Tincher. So one snap and a kneel on the ground, and that will be the ball game.
Yeah, you do have to give James Monroe credit for this.
Yes.
type of game. They came out and did what they were supposed to do in that first half, and then Bluefield got on their game plan.
And Bluefield is Coach Simon has called a timeout. You see a good look at both Coach Simons right there. Fred Simon II and his son, Fred Simon III. He is the offensive coordinator. Sort of resembles his dad there, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. And I gave him a great compliment. He'll always remember me when I said, talked to Coach Simon. I said, "Are you the dad or the son?"
Yeah. Yes, he liked you for that.
Yeah.
You know, he may not have wanted to do an interview with us, but after that he couldn't say no.
And then he gave his coach speak, so
Yeah.
he was all right either way.
So another close game, regular season 14-7. Bluefield came out on top. They extended it by 1 point, 20-12. Clean exchange, and Cole goes down on a knee. And that will be the end of the ball game. AA champions are Bluefield, 20-12 winner of the James Monroe Mavericks. We'll be back with the Hall of Fame Chiropractic post-game show right after this. Welcome back to Wheeling Island Stadium. A very entertaining ball game. Bluefield coming out with the championship.
Well,
20-12.
We expected this one to be close, just like the one they had in the regular season when they won 21-14, or 21-7 rather, over James Monroe. And boy, what a game!
Yeah, it really was. Brooks ended up the game 13 carries for 157 yards, and a touchdown. Passing on the night, Cole was 4 of 7 for 122 yards. We saw him with a couple of big passes in the second half and 2 touchdowns. Ponder with 2 big receptions. Also Joyner with a big reception, 1 for 58 yards. Those were touchdowns in the second half.
And he picked up the final interception to really seal the deal for Bluefield.
Yeah, and you look at James Monroe. They ended up 46 carries for 217 yards, which is really a great job against that Bluefield defense. And talked about the passing. They threw the ball 15 times total. He was 3 of 5 in the first half. He only had 1 completion in the second half, and really his receivers didn't help him out, help Robertson out a whole lot in the game. Robertson finished up 30 carries for 133 yards. Tincher had 8 carries for 33 yards. Kiesel, they lost him there towards the end of the game, 8 carries for 56 yards. And on receiving end, Tincher had 2 receptions for 37 yards. So we will take a break. When we come back, we will have the Most Valuable Player Awards. We won't take a break. We have the who won the Mumley Awards.
Yeah, they're having the
for
awards
both teams right now.
now.
They are presenting those to the athletes. One to James Monroe, and also one for the winning team. And you always hate to see, you look at James Monroe, they're all down and everything, but you just got to realize, look at the season they had to get here.
They've lost 2 games, and both of the losses were to Bluefield.
And it always happens every year. Somebody's got to come out on the short end.
James Monroe there receiving the, well, there's a look at the winning coach, Fred Simon, but presenting the runner-up trophy to the Mavericks.
Coach David Witt and the Mavericks
Yes.
getting runners-up
Oh,
trophy.
you see.
We would like to present the Class AA West Virginia 2007 Football Championship Trophy. The Beavers, Bluefield High School. The team members and coaches are asked to come forward to receive the 2007 Super 6 Championship Trophy.
There you see the 9th state championship for Bluefield, the 3rd for Coach Fred Simon. Plenty of media, paparazzi there.
And
some pictures.
some of those Bluefield state championships, I believe 1 or 2 was won as a AAA school. if I'm not mistaken.
You can see that tradition just continuing here, and it's just in and out. It's what they expect. They know how to be champions, and some folks were saying that, when you have this championship program, a lot of it, winter championships won in the summertime when you're lifting weights, and that's what these folks have done. And Sean Brooks, the outstanding player for Bluefield, the Samuel A. Mumley Award for Bluefield, and then presented also to Taylor Robertson for James Monroe for Mavericks Player of the Game.
Number 16, Sean Brooks.
Sean Brooks ended up, as you said.
Yeah.
How'd you know that? He ended up with 157 yards and a touchdown on the night. Really an outstanding game for Sean Brooks. Senior running back, senior wingback for Bluefield. And a great game, great end of the game. A lot of suspense, but Bluefield coming out on top. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. That's the Hall of Fame Chiropractic post-game show. We'll be back and we'll talk about what's coming up tomorrow right after this. Well, Natalie, a great game to start off the Super Six. We've got two games coming up tomorrow. We've got Parkersburg High playing St. Albans, and also we have the single A game. It will be Williamstown, a repeat from last year.
Yes.
Williamstown against Wheeling Central, and
They always
that's
like
sort
to
of a
beat up
tradition
here.
anymore, I guess.
It sure is. It just goes to show you when you talk about programs, and it's not just about winning a game or winning one championship. It's about building a program, and that's certainly what we've seen Bluefield do, and James Monroe tonight, well on their way. They've gotten to have a chance of taste of the championship game, and that's where they want to be. And we know the Parkersburg has been there, and St. Albans, a perfect example of a school building a football program.
Yes, and getting their first taste of a final game in quite some time. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. We know the rivalry between Williamstown and Wheeling Central, it's getting pretty heated.
Yes.
And it seems like each year they get in the finals, it's getting even more hot. So we should have a couple of great games tomorrow, AAA and Single A championships. I'd like to thank you for watching the AA West Virginia High School Football Super 6 Championship game. They're brought to you by Rays and Suddenlink Communications.